What actually is the resolution of the Wiper Party?
Asante sana. Good afternoon to all of you. I think first and foremost is to welcome you all to the Wiper Party Secretariat, where today we have held a successful NEC meeting. The next meeting, much as it is routine for parties to always sit down and organize themselves and agonize and strategize, we also are cognizant that there has been a lot happening in the political arena in the last couple of months. It has been a very mucky kind of situation. But you see, Wiper, as it stands, always issues clarity wherever the situation is mucky. So that's why we are here, to give you the clarity of vision. This party has always espoused itself. First and foremost, we are cognizant that we are into the final stretch of the election year. In under 1 year, this country will go to polls and will determine the next president of this Republic of Kenya. Wiper is unequivocal. Wiper is unbending. Wiper is decided on its candidacy of for President of the Republic of Kenya, Kalonzo Musyoka. So many declarations have taken place, and these declarations must now ferment into the reality of trying to market and ensure that Kalonzo Musyoka is Kenya's next president. And therefore, for that reason, we were to start our activities in the last week or so. But you see, as we said, we are also strategic. So we decided, let all those who have been running around, run around. And therefore then we commenced our activities. So we pushed forward our activities by an extra week and a half. And therefore our commencement in terms of this liberation was, for us, we believe we are looking for liberation for this nation. Liberation from the subjugation of those who have monetized politics. Liberation from those who play ethnic politics. From those who have excluded many of us from this nation's benefit. And therefore we want to ensure that we also put together a constitutional doctrine and an architecture of government that addresses most fundamentally the needs of the common mwananchi, so that we do not want to have the pomp and the celebration that we see. Ours is a reflection. So therefore our reflection towards this liberation starts in Mombasa on the 1st and 2nd of the next month. That is in the next week and a half or two, where it will be marked by, first and foremost, meeting regional aspirants and regional representatives of Wiper on Saturday, a road show and other meet the people tours across Mombasa County, culminating into a rally on the 2nd of October this year. So in this, Wiper will also now unveil its strategies and its vision. Our vision is not about moneyed politics. Our vision is not about grandeur and grandstanding. Our vision is about the common man, social justice, equity, human rights, and the rule of law. These are our fundamental ideals as a party. And that is where also we will be able to articulate the charter of the Wiper Democratic Movement, which is a social democratic movement. And it is reflected in our acts and deeds. Most of us here, you see, have not been beneficiaries of massive loot. So therefore, this is a party, when it speaks about the common mwananchi, it's a party you can believe in. It's a party you can trust in. It's a party that commits itself to these ideals. Secondly, Wiper resolved that the health of the coalition is solid. Wiper is strongly and unrepentantly a member of the CORD coalition. Wiper will do everything necessary and reasonable to ensure that CORD remains united, because the only way we can dislodge the Jubilee oligarch, the few men who wield capital, who preside over the affairs of our life, is to ensure we eat meat, literally and otherwise, is to ensure that we are able to have a united front coming into the next election. And by all reason and common sense, many of the conversations we hear in this country have been unequivocal that it is time to change tact. and pass the ball to Kalonzo Musyoka to lead this onslaught towards dislodging the Uhuruto coalition. But this is not to be misconstrued. I know some of you picked some statements made by our party leader yesterday to mean we are going into some kind of a merger or dissolution. Maybe that's why some of you came in your droves. We are dissolving nothing. If anything, we are strengthening the party. Wiper will field a candidate in each and every available position for electoral contest, where candidates who are strong and credible and meet the expectations of the party present themselves for contests across the country. Wiper has zoned nowhere. We have no zones. Every area in this country is a potential Wiper stronghold, because Wiper is going with a narrative. Every area is a potential, of Kenya is everybody's interest. So we are not going to map or to zone anywhere. If anybody wants to run in central Kenya, wants to run in Rift Valley, wants to run in Nyanza, wants to run in Western, whichever region of this country that you feel that Wiper represents the faith of your politics, then we are ready as a party to facilitate your nomination for that position. But when we talk about registration of code, is that the presidential candidate shall neither run under an ODM ticket, nor a Wiper ticket, nor a Ford Kenya ticket. The presidential candidate shall run as a code candidate. We have seen the folly of having people run in their respective parties, yet there are very many levels of government where Wiper has contributed to the success of respective candidates. So where Wiper has decided to go into a coalition, for that matter we are in a coalition in Nairobi, then Governor Kidero shall run under a code ticket. Where we decide on coalitions anywhere, you shall take a code ticket. But where there's no coalition, you can run in your respective party. So that then, because this has an impact in how you are recognized within the armpit of the Political Parties Act. The Political Parties Act recognizes the presidential tally. So in the presidential tally, how much of that tally is Kalonzo Musyoka's? How much of that tally is Wetangula's? And how much of that tally is Raila Odinga's tally? So for us to bury our heads in the sand and believe that 6 or 7 million votes was uniquely one candidate is something we must cure by law and by registration of that coalition. That will be the ticket that the coalition presidential flag bearer shall run on. So that when we go there, we don't want somebody to say, yeye ni chungwa na president yake ni chungwa, yeye ni Wiper na president yake ni Wiper, wewe ni Simba na president yake ni Simba. We want everybody to go there and say, mimi ni Wiper lakini president yangu ni code. So that's why we are looking at that context. Thirdly, the issue of defections. Some of you have erroneously reported that Wiper was hardest hit. But I think for a fact, if you did your common mathematics, other numbers are a little larger. But this has been the Jubilee strategy of weakening the opposition. These things are not new in African democracies. You decimate the opposition, and rather than allow opposition to oversight you decimate it and then swallow part of its membership. So therefore, a strong Jubilee is detrimental for this country. For them to have the numbers to offend the Constitution in whatever manner they wish is something this country will not allow to happen. But I invite our defectors. They have spoken so strongly of how the ground has shifted. They have shifted physically. Why don't they shift also spiritually by asking us for a contest in their respective electoral jurisdiction? If you are brave, if you are born of brave soul, if you really believe in what you have done, we are willing for you to have a mass resignation from this party, because the Register of Political Parties has buried her hand in the sand. She has been in an acting capacity for so long, she has become an actor. She does not know her role anymore. Ni cinema too. You know, when you act for so long, it is likely that you can become an actor. So she has been one of the greatest impediment to the realization of the political party's vision, that people must be credible, must stand by parties that nominate them to parliament, and in the event you disagree with that party, then do the gentleman thing, do the womanly thing, and quit. Wiper is prepared for your by-elections any day. Give us the date, and we shall show you that is the final date of your obituary politically. So we shall not be threatened by perceptions. You know, you bring people in red, and then, you know, parade them. You should have then sent those people to come back and seek those positions afresh. So this is not a conversation, you know, just because there's an exodus. This has happened to oppositions constantly. That's why the spirit of law wanted to forbid people weakening oppositions. So for political parties, for the media, take these things analytically. These are serious travesties to our democracy and our constitution. There is a reason why we did not want people to change parties arbitrarily, so that you don't weaken our democracy, you don't weaken our accountability. We have allowed people to change parties so arbitrarily. The registrar of political parties is on the sidelines, the political parties tribunal is on the sidelines, the speaker of the National Assembly is on the sidelines, and everybody is on the sidelines. And the media reports as if we are losing ground. We are not losing ground, we are losing the constitution. And therefore, if any of you want a Kenya that is credible, parties that are ideological, then it's high time. So we are ready for a by-election. Some of them probably are listening to us live. Please, if you are born of good parentage, it is time for you to show what your parents told you. Don't take away what belongs to another. Give it back, and therefore then we send you home. So therefore it is a non-issue for anybody to purport that any party is losing ground merely because they are people exodus. We are going to first receive even defectors soon, because they were given 30 days. We'll be going to Kagundo, which I am informed is the epicenter of Ukambani politics, to receive Honorable Maweu, who has refused to join Jubilee. And some of these people, by the way, at what point do you join Jubilee? Some of my colleagues had moved well before that physical movement. And we had de-whipped them from our political parties. We had sent them, some of them, to the political parties tribunal. We had disciplined them in the party. So at what point were they moving? They had moved. So there was nothing materially different in what they did in this movement. So if you know them, if you see them, tell them Wiper, the SG, the chairperson, the party leader and its members have asked you, please give back the uniform so that we can now teach you a lesson. Thirdly, we also continue to talk about national issues. We in the Wiper Democratic Movement are asking for the expeditions, gazettement of the law, IBC amendment law, that will facilitate the agreement or the report in terms of appointment of commissioners to the IBC, so that that process can get started. I know Jubilee is nervous because they realize that this a skewed or a compromised commission is critical to their campaign strategy, but we are telling them that there was a timeline agreed upon. This timeline was agreed by the president himself. So minus the gazettement, minus the appointment of the panel, minus a negotiated exit of the IBC commissioners, which was to happen 14 days from the adoption of the report, then there is no movement. So there is already a plot to sabotage. Senator Kiraitu sat into this commitment. These commitments were shared with Uhuru Kenyatta and his co-principal. These commitments were shared to Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Moses Wetangula. This was a political concurrence. You cannot purport to renege on it. This is not one of your official state functions. This is a concurrence or an agreement that you must leave by the tenant and the timelines that were agreed upon on a gentleman and gentlewoman's agreement. So we are asking him to expeditiously move to ensure the gazettement of that law and the appointment of that panel and the commencement of the exit of the existing commissioners, so that we can pave way for the famously referred to IBC reforms. We continue to take with great concern corruption and nepotism in this country. Corruption has been trivialized. Corruption has been institutionalized. Corruption has been embraced. Corruption is no doubt one of the deliverables of the Jubilee government. They have delivered on corruption. So we are asking them to show grit in these final moments, because if they do not show grit to deal with matters corruption, and therefore that's why when you think corruption is such a normal thing, that's why you become so casual with your remarks. That wewe sisi tunakula nyama, wewe unameza mate. Sisi tunakaa kama tunameza mate. In fact, today I was saying, rather than kumeza mate, we are telling our people at least to stay alive to vote. Don't meza mate. Take some water regularly, so that at least you're able to combust your engines for us to vote these people out as we head to the next cycle of elections. Ultimately, you all agree that our Vice President, our party leader, was awarded the African Dignitary Man of the Year award at the UN in New York last month. This is something that the NEC has taken note of, and it celebrates his leadership. And then, you know, this word dignity. Dignity is what is the next frontier of contest in this country. Everybody talks about everything. You talk about standard gauge and every other mega projects without talking about the dignity of those people where the dust of the standard gauge lands. So we are going to celebrate our party leader on the 12th of October. We shall call different speakers who shall talk to issues of dignity in this country. We shall reflect. We shall not celebrate, we shall reflect, as we are a people of reflection. Because in this country there's very little for celebration so far. So we shall reflect, so that in the next decade, people can celebrate our reflections. So we shall reflect, we shall talk about social justice, we shall talk about the vision of this party. We shall also try to entice the young people where political competition has been made so difficult for them because of money. Wiper is the only party that is going to keep a door open for you. We are not going to charge you exorbitant fee for the youth and the women. We are going to make sure we drive you, empower you through ideology. So everybody out there knows when you need honesty, when you need a solid alternative, when you don't need too much money or money at all, then you know which coalition, which party to come to. So this is the testament we have come up with these resolutions. So my colleague, the media officer, is writing these points. Yeah, you'll distribute them. I think I've talked to them very eloquently. Despite the fact that I was born in Mombasa, I still speak English. But I can now come briefly to Kiswahili, so that kwa wale ambao wanatusikiza kila mahali katika pembe ya taifa. Leo Baraza Kuu la Wiper lilikuwa na mkutano wa kawaida wa baraza lake, lakini pia tukajua kwamba katika miezi miwili mitatu iliyopita kumekuwa na hali ya changamoto ya kisiasa. Tumeona malumbano ya kisiasa, tumeona mikondo ya kisiasa ambapo vyama viliyayuka vikajibuni katika chama kikuu. Kwa hivyo sisi sote tumeangalia, na kwa wakati msisimko wote ulipokuwa ukiendelea, sisi tulikuwa na ratiba yetu ambayo tulitaka kuanzisha mwezi huu, lakini tukasema wacha hili vumbi litue, alafu ndio tuanze sisi kuweza kutekeleza ratiba yetu. Kwa hivyo tunataka kuwatangazia, tutaanza ratiba yetu tarehe 1 na 2 wa mwezi wa Oktoba rasmi katika mji wa Mombasa. Wajua mimi ni mtu ambaye naamini kwamba the winds of change will blow from the sea. So kule ndio kutakuwa na hilo vuguvugu na wimbi la mageuzi. Kwa hivyo sisi tutaanza Mombasa, na mimi na ndugu yangu Hezron na Witi Bolo ndio kirasmi tutakuwa wenyeji wakati ndugu zetu wote hawa na wakuu wetu watatutembelea Mombasa. Tutaanza na mikutano ambazo tutahamasisha wafuasi wetu na wale ambao wanataka kutafuta kugombea vitu kupitia chama cha Wiper katika masala na harakati za kichama, katika mkutano ambao kwa lugha ya kizungu tunaita town hall, mkutano wa hadhara ambao umefungiwa, sio? Ndio maana ya town hall. Alafu tutakwenda pembe tofauti za Mombasa katika kuhamasisha watu katika masala ya kichama na miundo wetu wa kichama. La tatu pia mwisho tutamaliza na mkutano wa hadhara katika sehemu ambayo tutawatangazia katika mji wa Mombasa, na hapo pia tutawatangazia zile kanuni zetu, ratiba zetu, imani zetu, fikra zetu katika masuala ya kisiasa, kwamba sisi ndio mtazamo wa kitaifa ule unaolenga mtu mdogo, ule ambao umekataa kuweka kuchibuza pesa kama msingi wa kisiasa, kwamba sisi tunataka kuleta msingi mpya wa kisiasa. Na hapo pia tutaweza kubuni ile fikra zetu za kisiasa, yani social democratic charter, hapo ambapo tutaeleza kinaga ubaga kwamba sisi ni watu ambao tunataka kubadilisha muundo wa serikali, kuhakikisha wale wadogo ndio sisi tunawahudumia. Tunatoa serikali ya kiimla na ufisadi, tunaweka serikali ya watu ambayo itaweza kuwajibika. La pili, tunasema afya ya muungano iko katika hali imara. Hakuna kikohozi, hakuna mharo, hakuna diarrhea, zitu kama hizo, hakuna tumbo la kuuma, hakuna lolote. Afya zetu ziko sawa sawa za kimuungano. Na sisi kama Wiper tutajitolea paka katika juhudi yetu ya mwisho kuhakikisha tumeweka umoja wa huu muungano. Lakini pia tumesema katika kuleta umoja huo wa kimuungano pia tutaimarisha chama chetu. Kwa chama cha Wiper hakendi mahali popote. Chama cha Wiper hakijiandai kujiyayua, kinajiandaa kujihami. Kuna tofauti. We are not dissolving, we are strengthening. Na hii tumesema ndio tunaanza huo mkondo kuanzia Mombasa, na tutapaka mkondo wa kwanza tukaumaliza Disemba ili watu waende katika holiday, na tukirudi sasa yale miezi saba ya mwisho ndio katika lugha ya Harith atakwambia tandika ulale. Sasa hapo ndio tutaona. Alafu mwisho, kwa hivyo sisi hatuendi mahali. Lakini tumesema tutasajili chama kinaitwa CORD. Kwa vile mgombea wa urais atakwenda kwa tikiti ya CORD. Kwa ajili sisi pale tunaposema kwamba mgombea wa rais atakuwa wa chungwa ama wa mwavuli ama wa simba, basi huenda tukapotosha ile sera na fikra ya muundo, wakati kila mtu anagwania nyadhifa mbalimbali katika muungano wake, katika chama chake. Na sisi tutaweka mgombea katika kila kiti. Sisi hatujasema kuna sehemu tofauti, hatujakaa katika Kenya tukaanza kupaka rangi nchi, nyeupe, nyekundu, kijani, samawati. Sisi tumesema sote, popote Mkenya anapotaka tikiti ya Wiper kwa sera ya Wiper, sisi tutampa tikiti hiyo katika ngazi yoyote ya ugombea wa uchaguzi. Na pale kutakuwa na zaidi ya mgombea mmoja, kutakuwa na uchaguzi huru. Mimi najua hapa kama kuna ushahidi ya watu kufanya uchaguzi huru wa kichama, sisi pekee yetu ndio tuko na ushahidi huo. La mwisho, kuna wale watu walihama, waligura, tuliwaangazia, tuliwazungumza kidogo, maana yake hatutaki pia kupoteza wakati wetu mwingi. Lakini sisi tumewapatia ombi moja tu, wafanye la heshima. Waswahili husema suruali ya kuazima haistiri kule mahali. Kwa hivyo tunasema tafadhali tulete suruali yetu, tuleteni fulana zetu, alafu sisi sasa mwewe mkatafute fulana nyingine, muvae nyekundu, muvae ile Ruto ile inaitwa yellow ile. Wajua Ruto ni stripe tu katika ile red. Kiangalia ile uniform ya Jubilee, si yellow ni kama imemwagwa tu kama tie and dye. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema kitone. Sasa sisi tunasema wewe ukavae ile fulana, na kama mnanisikiza fanyeni lile jambo la heshima. Gura. Tuitieni sisi katika ule uchaguzi mdogo, tuko tayari. Hauwezi kukaa ati nyinyi ni wachambuzi wa kisiasa, mnachukua watu ambao maarufu wao na waligura kitambo umeisha, alafu mnasema mnaanza kuweka pressure kwa CORD coalition na kama chama cha Wiper kwamba watu wenu wanagura. Wakigura waambie wagure kabisa. Huko si kugura, huko ni uoga. Huko ni unafiki. Huko ni kufanya uhasidi. Hutaki kumwachia mwenzako kitu chake, wewe unataka kuvaa shati lake, alafu wewe useme kwamba mmeona ile shati lake ile zuri. Kama vua jazi yetu. Sisi tuende vita na wewe. Mchuano wa kisiasa, msije mkachukua vita vya kupigana. Alafu la mwisho ni kwamba tunamwomba rais aharakishe mageuzi ya tume ya uchaguzi, kwamba yeye akiwa mkuu wa Jubilee na wakuu wetu katika muungano wa CORD walikubaliana kwa huu mpangilio na ile timeline, ile nyakati zilizowekwa. Kwa hivyo kukiuka ni kupeleka nyuma mageuzi ya IBC, na hapo huenda ikaathiri mipangilio ya kura inayokuja. Kwa hivyo tunamwomba rais wa taifa letu ahakikishe kwamba, hata tumuombe, tunamshurutisha demand kwamba aisajili gazette hiyo sheria ya IBC, alafu tuanze appoint panel na tuanze mikakati ya kubadilisha IBC, tuanze yale mazungumzo. Manake mazungumzo ya kuwaondoa IBC kwa hiari yalikuwa yaanze ili IBC ile iliyoko sasa itoke katika siku 14 baada ile ripoti kuweza kukubaliwa na bunge, na imekubaliwa na bunge la kitaifa na bunge la Senate. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema kwamba yeye anaathiri mipangilio na ratiba ya kuweza kufikia IBC mpya na mipangilio ya uchaguzi. Na sisi kama Wakenya walivyozungumza kwa kauli moja, lazima tujiandae kikamilifu kabla sisi kukubali uchaguzi wa aina yoyote. Hatuwezi kukubali uchaguzi huu wa IBC hii, na hatuwezi kukubali uchaguzi ambao haujaandaliwa kikamilifu. Okay, kwa hivyo hayo ndiyo yale. Sam,
You can actually say it's a matter for discussion still.
It's a matter that, as I said, the technical committee is still discussing. But for us here, the clarity from this neck is that CORD is being registered as a party simply for the purposes of having a CORD candidate at the presidential level, and in other areas where we agree to go into a coalition arrangement, like Nairobi. Outside that, Wiper will run a candidate for each and every seat available anywhere, without zoning, without any reservation. This is our stronghold. We want candidates with character and vision and ideology. That's what we are looking for. So if you have any of those characteristics, just know that this is your party of choice. So we are not registering the coalition because we want a joint nomination. We are registering the coalition because we know that there is an impact, negative for that matter. If you say today, if I go as a Wiper candidate with a presidential candidate of Wiper, I could easily confuse the public that, in Mombasa. So it gives me an edge. It gives you an edge everywhere. So what we are saying, we have that candidate up there as a CORD candidate, and then at the lower level, people can go into their respective parties. Then secondly, it also has an impact in terms of the implementation of the Political Parties Act. These days, these Political Parties Act are publicly owned. When you are financed by the public, it's a public entity. It cannot be a private entity. So it has the dynamics in terms of the share of revenue, in terms of workings of the party, in terms of the establishment of the secretariat. So when you delude yourself that you are the Wiper president, then you forget that there are other parties that have contributed equally as much into the vote basket. Nimezungumza vizuri sana. Murimi, unataka nini?
Yes, Murimi. Yesterday you raised a concern about governors who are campaigning on the platform of 2020. They are not is there a feeling that Wiper has been left out in a way?
Listen, we've spoken about that issue. We believe any governor, and there are several governors, particularly in ODM, who have made it very clear of their intentions for presidency 2017. That does not help to strengthen the unity of the coalition. You get my point? Because what happens, the only situation where Kidero, Hassan Joho, or for that matter, Oparanya, who have all said they want to run in 2022, can be presidential candidates in 2022, is where if ODM goes as a party by itself and Raila loses. That's the scenario. They can be president. So they're not working to strengthen their coalition, they're working to undermine the coalition. Secondly, there is quid pro quo. If Kalonzo Musyoka, Wetangula and Raila agree on an arrangement, it then follows that there shall be quid pro quo, that there should be reciprocity. So I hope we are setting ourselves for a bastardized type of solution of an environment. So my own view is that whatever these undercurrents are not helping the coalition. we've asked our party leader to discuss with his compatriots, to tell them to suppress some of these ambitions until the time is right. Otherwise, it may be misconstrued like that people are making an arrangement, to ruin the unity of the coalition.
Well, thank you so much. That is the briefing.